Blood for the blood god!
Skull for the skull throne.
Guard!
World Eaters.
Welcome to World Eaters Reaction! This is going to be so awesome. The World Eaters are one of the most singular-minded armies in 40k. They're coming to kill you with big axes in melee combat, and this book does it so very, very well.
So well. I'm so happy with this book right now.
Cool flavor and cool rules coming together to show off what like Warhammer models can really do. So I just want to say a huge thank you to Games Workshop for sending us some of these models and books in early so that we can get them painted up for your enjoyment, so that we have some idea of what's happening in this.
In here.
Yeah, because there's a lot to chew on in here. Here it is, in 88 pages. Very excited to share our obvious excitement for this super cool GW release, Codex World Eaters. It's all through it.
Oh my God,
There is
so
Khorne's
many
magic buried in here.
World Eaters caught my interest back with the Horus Heresy novels, and it sparked this joy inside me of wanting to kill, maim, burn.
World Eaters are Chaos Space Marines that worship Khorne, the god of rage and battle. Their Legion trait supports this nicely, with +1 to strength and attacks on the charge.
I don't know how much more straight to the fact and fluffy you could get with a Legion trait.
Pretty much. And speaking of the what is at the core of what Khorne does through the World Eaters, the Berserker. This is the quintessential unit of the World Eaters.
They've lost the ability to fight twice.
At least built in. You can,
Yeah.
It takes a strat now.
They've got a new mechanic called the Blood Surge. Your Berserker unit gets shot and loses a model, you just get to move d6 inches towards the closest enemy model. If your opponent decides to overwatch and you lose a model, you still get to get closer.
And this is every time it loses a model
Every time you
shooting.
Another really cool thing is if the Berserkers are doing an action, they will actually complete that action immediately as long as they have an icon, which is insane.
Sick 'em, boys. Yeah, it's gonna be impressive how quickly these guys get to grips with the enemy.
And Khorne cares not from where the blood flows.
So true, and that leads us on to one of the reasons you might go to this World Eaters Codex. Angron, the leader himself, the Demon Primarch.
Another Primarch? Let's
Angron,
go!
oh boy. Kill anything he touches.
Absolutely.
So Blood Tithe is a big new mechanic. This is a list of army-wide buffs, including bring Angron back from the dead. At least that's what everyone's talking about, but there's other really cool stuff buried
There's
in
some
there.
really good ones there. There's ones that let you auto wound on 6s, increase your AP, exploding 6s to hit.
You can just get a blanket, feel no pain.
Yeah, and it's army wide. At the end of a phase, you can spend those Blood Tithe points.
Hit things harder in melee in some way, shape, or form, except for bring Angron back from the dead for 6 Blood Tithe points. Now, Blood Tithe points are actually pretty easy to come by because
Khorne cares not from where the blood flows. Yep, so unit dies, you get a Blood Tithe point. You kill a character or vehicle, you get an additional 1 per phase. And if you kill a Titanic, you get an additional 1 per phase. The Lord of Skulls going boom, that's 3 points right there. Unlike the rest of the Blood Tithe benefits that you can get, which are only once per battle, Reborn in Blood, which is the specific one for Angron, has no limit to it. As long as you have the Blood Tithe points and Angron has been destroyed,
he can
you bring him right back.
You also can't run away from Angron.
No, absolutely phenomenal. But if you actually go through the list and look at some of these other ones, there are so many good options to choose from. It's wild.
Speaking of great options, there are actually more new models that we get to show off. So we have Berserkers, we have Angron. I think now we should talk about Jackals. Ooh. So Jackals are the brand new corny chainsaw cultists.
Yep.
They are fantastic sculpts, and they can dish it out like no cultist ever before. The damage potential on these guys is actually kind of scary.
It really is.
And of course, they're cultists, so fairly cheap and great, easy sacrifices to the blood god to get more Blood Tithe points. You see how it all starts folding together at this point.
It's all about blood and skulls, and really, as long as you're on that track, you're good to go.
We have a brand new named Chaos Lord to talk about. Lord Invocatus. He rides around on a juggernaut, doing horrible things to his enemies because he's, quick and bashes stuff real good. But the best part about him has got to be his warlord trait.
He can actually pick 2 core units and give them a pre-game moves.
And the best part is, a core unit from the elite slot of this book is one of my new favorite things in life.
I think I know which one you're talking about. You know what? They're blood-soaked goodness. And they're crammed full of demons.
Oh, 8 of them to be specific.
Actually, that's true.
This is the Khorne version of Possessed, the 8-bound. They're going to be running at you at 9 inches and killing everything they touch. To boot, the regular 8-bound in units of 6 are core units. Meaning that Mr. Invocatus can send them forward 9 inches before the game even starts.
You're covering 18 inches turn 1.
Like, that's pre-charge.
That's fast.
Yeah. Gun lines, beware. Cornish armies going first with Lord Invocatus are going to be on you immediately.
It's a terrifying prospect.
It really is. What you could expect if you're going to be stumbling into a World Eater's army out in the wild, 3 major archetypes that you might run into. Yeah. Multiple small units for regular World Eaters like Spawn, like Jackals.
Sacrifice for the blood tie point.
Are going to mean you're going to be able to recycle Mr. Angron like nobody's business. Yeah. Now, the Disciples of the Red Angel, on the other hand, is a lot more 8-bound, which might be the ticket anyway, and all of a sudden your 8-bound become obsec. And finally, I think that the other thing you might see a lot of is the Invocatus Possessed Rush. Lots of easy buffs for all of those lists for them to come by and synergize within themselves, but we'll have to let you pick up the book to actually find the nitty and the gritty of all of that. And for the Crusade crowd, they have Skull Harvest trackers. Skull Harvest trackers. Lots of really good stuff for you Crusade players out there. But it's not all good news.
Oh.
I have had some reactions to this codex that made me scratch my little head, wonder what exactly was going on here, made me miss a few things. There are some notable omissions. There's no access to raptors, for instance.
Not being able to give out multiple Warlord traits or multiple relics. Do you really want to run Invocatus and get the pre-game move, or do you want to run Angron and shut down Obsec?
And you can't really do both. So it's not a huge range. There's been a few models added, but not a ton. There is no option for building your own Footlord. It's Karn, and that's it. Really, it's a bit of a one-note book. This army can kill things in melee. It kind of ends there. There's not a lot of other ways to play.
I don't see playing World Eaters any other way.
Hopefully you have tuned in to our big game with Imperial Guard versus World Eaters, showing off all the brand new rules, Angron coming back from the dead.
Yep.
Anything specific you want to mention about how that went? Spoilers?
I don't want to give any spoilers. By all means, check it out. It is a fantastic game. I had a lot of fun playing it. I did get to pilot the new World Eaters. It was really fun. What's your favorite thing out of this book so far, Tycho?
Oh, Angron, by a million miles. I love the idea of a returning Primarch. I mean, the other thing I really like is the 8-bound. Overall, what do you think? Big thumbs up, big thumbs down, sideways. Which way is your thumb pointing?
This is definitely a thumbs up for me.
Double, look at that. It's
a double thumbs up for me. I may or may not be leaning towards multiple minimum squad size units and a lot of blood tithe points.
Blood tithe points and Angron over and over and over again?
Over again?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it one big hairy thumbs up. Just one. I think there are too many glaring omissions, particularly in the Chaos Lord on foot and Terminator armor category. Yeah. Other than that, this is an amazing codex. Has everything that you're going to want to go hack up your foes in melee combat, and Angron. Oh, guess he does that too. So
yeah, exactly.
Even just picking up for the art and the lore is actually kind of a cool aspect of these books. We don't talk about enough. Some really cool old stuff.
There's a nice mix.
Yeah. Angry Ron and his pals.
Yep.
So, do you have a new favorite Demon Primarch? Oh,
Magnus is still my first choice.
Okay.
Angron does everything right in taking skulls.
In taking skulls. He just dies in a heap sometimes, but then he comes back.
Right.
Coming round the mountain when she comes.
He's coming out of Warp Strike when he comes.
He'll be coming out of Warp Strike. He'll be coming out of Warp Strike. He'll be coming out of Warp Strike when he comes. I don't know if I want to fight Angry Ron, but I'll give it a go.
Come on, fight him. You know you want to.
It's going to be a blast. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody.
We couldn't do this without you guys.
We really couldn't. We couldn't. Everyone out there watching, all of our patrons, all of our YouTube members, we love you all. And until we see you in the grim dark of a far-flung future, blood for the Blood God!